Ladies and gentlemen, on this October 25th, 2025, the world witnessed a sudden and spontaneous closure of Vilnius Airport. That's in Lithuania. The airport was closed for that there were planes coming, arriving planes which should land. We told them to do a U-turn. NATO put its forces on high alert. The airport has been closed. No departures, no arrival. Yes. And it happened after they identified in the sky Lithuanian several drones who could not identify which are the origins of these drones. And what are drones coming to do? But they saw several drones. These drones have did what these drones wanted to do. And then there you go. I tell you, between Russia and NATO, the hour is very serious. The hour is very, very serious. Where NATO is now putting all its forces on high alert until it deploys, takes off. I was going to say Eurofighter. These are these fighter planes on which Europe relies heavily more until his Euros take off faster. That is the situation, very serious. Ladies, gentlemen, and young ladies, as part of this conference, Geopolitics dedicated to current events global, it is from this news that we're going to talk. But before continue, I ask you to share the conference to the maximum. It is necessary share in all groups possible. Put a lot of likes. And don't forget, especially if you are new, if this is your first time to come across my page, you have to click on the subscribe button, subscribe. This allows you to never miss the hottest news from around the world. Thank you very much. Let's go in the depths. Yes, according to the information official, then it is the sudden closure of the main Lithuanian airport. The main airport. On October 25th, 2025, the Airport International of Vilnius, capital Lithuanian, was suddenly closed. It was suddenly closed after detecting multiple objects, unidentified flying objects in space, Lithuanian Air Force. So it must be said that the Tower of Control confirmed the suspension of all arrivals and departures during several hours. They closed for several hours. So it must be said that this area is an ultra zone sensitive to NATO. It is ultra sensitive because it is an area that is close to the Belarusian border and Russian. It is an area that is very close to the Belarusian and Russian border. Vilnius, well, when we talk about the Belarus, it's Russia's eternal ally. Yeah, the Belarusian president, Alexander Lukashenko, he's not joking. Not at all with NATO. No, it is ready to crush NATO. We don't talk about Russia. So Vilnius is less than 30 kilometers away from the Belarusian border. Less than 30 kilometers. It's very close. It's very close. The people there are in the nostrils of each other. But they don't understand that 30 kilometers from distance from Belarus. There you go. And Vilnius is close to the strategic corridor. Is a crucial corridor between Poland and Lithuania connecting the forces of NATO to the Baltic states. You understand? So it's a place extremely strategic. The strategic Suwalki corridor is a crucial cloister between Poland and Lithuania, which allows to connect the NATO forces in the Baltic states. Or when we talk about the Baltic states, these are those states that are around the Baltic Sea. And facing the states, Baltic states, Kaliningrad, the enclave Russian from Kaliningrad, and Kingrad, where Russia has mobilized a lot of military equipment that is very fear. And, there is still a giant conflict between Russia and Europe on the Baltic Sea. All recently, a Russian ship was seen boarded in the Baltic Sea. We saw planes that chased each other in the skies of the Baltic Sea. So it's an ultra-sensitive area. Let's go. We need to say that the Lithuanian military have activated emergency measures when they noticed the thing in the skies and the airport was closed. Emergency measures have been activated on this October 25th, 2025. It must be said that these emergency measures have been activated, and because the army mentioned a risk of aerial provocation. When they saw this, they were scared. It was shaking. They activated measures with the argument there is a risk of aerial provocation. But what is the first hypothesis of the air authorities and Lithuania? It must be said that the radars would have detected signals simultaneous. The radars detected simultaneous signals, one evolving at low altitude. So the first signal and the other stationary without transponder identification. So NATO air forces, having noticed this, they did take off HM-2 Euros made by Spanish Tyon for visual recognition. And these are NATO forces which are based in Only. So they took off the 2 Euro. What type of drone is it and where does it come from? Hence, unfortunately, the jamming systems that are on these drones, don't have them allowed the immediate power determine these to recognize these drones. So we must say that it is a real escalation. It's an escalation and the escalation of tension in this European constituency. It must be said that this alert comes while several similar incidents have been observed very recently. That we saw some drone instructions unidentified over Denmark and from northern Germany. We saw some. There you go. And so NATO goes on alert. NATO is on alert. Moscow is accused, but unfortunately, NATO accuses without concrete proof. The drones they have wanted to identify, they could not. Their devices are weak, they cannot identify. And so, they don't have any tangible evidence, but they continue to accuse the Federation from Russia. The worst thing is that they have showed their weak side. They were unable to identify the machines that they were there. So what is the signal that is being sent? There is no doubt about that. It is the Russia, huh? That's it, because it's the only country that is at war with them directly. A war that's also, even if it is a war that looks like a hybrid war. But there you go. So apparently Russia is in the process of carry out reconnaissance since they want a direct conflict with Russia. Russia will recognize places, will identify high potential places for strikes to come. May God bless us preserve. So ladies, young ladies and gentlemen, here is the front page of the news.